Gyda nyn ac o fi colorym iddo ffrogram yn hachgwyn se gyma yn ymwlyniw, han i gan hosiwch go adeg gwynia drwy character gyma ma big. Fa Billy Boyd y clwch pipin yn gan y Hobbit sy'n och as na ffilm i chynnig Peter Jackson, stych yn y lawr chyn ag J.R.R. Tolkien, The Lord of the Rings.
Ha Billy ddech chi chilig ddesha meddyga ygys Canada. Mae rhaid asyn dolgwal cwysyn ydda'r sochgyth le cwrs y safath gyffasg live.
You get a good view of Glasgow from here, don't you?
Oh, it's beautiful. I love it up here. Although the trees are hiding most of it now, that they've become green. You get a good view of trees.
No, it's lovely. It's really peaceful. It's really strange, you know, when you get to these parks in the middle of a city, and it's just hard to believe you're in the same place, isn't it?
It's one of the great things about Glasgow, I think, is these parks. This is, I think, you know, like this park and a lot of the parks are just so beautiful. And it becomes such a part of your life if you live near it, you know. I remember when my baby was just born, the first feed in the morning, to give my wife a break, I used to take the baby for a walk and feed him up here with a bottle, you know, that she'd put the milk into and stuff. And I'd have the dog as well sometimes. And I remember once I was here and the dog had run away and I had the baby in one of these sling things and I went to get him and I fell down this hill, like running after the dog. And then I said to my friend, I was telling him later on, who's Paul Riley, who's the actor who does Dear Green Place, and he said that day they'd set up a camera on time-lapse for the start of the show.
No.
Honestly, and I thought, oh no, it's going to be me rolling down a hill with a baby and a dog at the start of their show. But he looked through it and luckily I wasn't on it.
And presumably no injuries.
No injuries for me, the baby or the dog.
Oh,
everybody get away with it.
Yeah, I'm not so proud. Not sure I'd be keen to let you up here again with a baby and a dog if that's what you do. But what I noticed too is you just feel you could walk along here, and I wonder if it's just quite nice to get away from that whole business of having to talk to people, having to be someone else and just be yourself.
Yeah, and I think it's weird here because you get to know everyone who's got dogs as well, but you don't know anybody's names. You only know the dogs' names. So you're like, oh, there's Tara and well, I don't know. You know,
they know you though.
Well, yeah. But even still, they know the dog better. You know, they're like, oh, there's Griffin, and so it's weird, the park, because it has a kind of life of its own during the day.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Like my first walk in the morning, if I take the dog, I take him for a long walk in here, and sometimes there'll be nobody, you know, another couple of people with dogs or whatever, and just so quiet. And then in the summer months, it could be absolutely packed in here, you know. It's amazing the kind of life that it has, you know.
Agus yn jay sachar na manye, go sio.
I'm going to get to get him all. What are you, Cathy? Look at that tattoo
Wel, hefyd, mae siwr son castel i hwyr eich sachiastio iddyn ma'n gwrs, a hefyd ys ac yn gram o'r sio a hachor gan y wag o'r i pwydr.
Have a good one. Yeah.
I got petrol.
I thought you were on your bus.
I bet you want to go in just to escape all of that.
To get a coffee?
Yeah, come on. So you're just back from Canada filming with Jack Osborne at Adrenaline Junkies. What was that experience like?
It was great. I was kind of in two minds whether to do it for a few reasons. Not least, you know, got to jump off of bridges and stuff like that, which isn't really my thing. But actually, Elijah Wood, a good friend, he'd just done it, and he said he had a great time, you know. He said it was just an amazing experience. They went down the Zambezi River and did stuff around there. I'd kind of known Jack a little bit, and I've always liked him, and I like kind of what he's done with this programme. You know, it seems a very honest thing. And end up, I thought, you know, I think if there's any reason for me not doing it, it's just really the fear of doing that kind of thing.
Which seems perfectly
Yeah,
reasonable.
it seems fair enough. But I thought, you know what, I'm going to do it, and I'm so glad I did. It was an amazing trip.
How does the experience compare with playing a part? Because clearly you're going as Billy Boyd and you're not someone else.
Yeah, that's true, and I don't really do shows or anything where I'm just myself. Even a show like this, yes. I don't normally do. But I enjoyed watching your shows, so I thought.
Thank you.
So I'm very seldom kind of seen as myself, I suppose, because I don't really do them. So it was sort of weird, and I think in my head, the most important thing is trying to be as honest as possible and not trying to play a character or. You know, if you're going to do a show like that or like this, then just try and be honest and, you know, see if that's interesting or not. But so that's basically what I tried to do.
Yeah, so I suppose there are a couple of challenges then. Being yourself, being relaxed enough to be yourself and taking all these risks because, you know, I'm not sure that I'd be very happy if my partner was going off and I knew he was going to take a 1,000-foot leap off a mountain or off a cliff or something.
Yeah. I don't know. I suppose it was a kind of weird one, and you know, speaking to my wife about it, she was very much like, you know, if it's something you want to do, then go ahead and do it. But we spoke a lot on the phone, and I did tell her where the will was before I went. I really did.
But it's interesting because, you know, speaking to Lorraine Kelly recently, she was talking about how being Scottish is a great icebreaker, whether it's in homes of fear or just when you're trying to get to know people. And I'm wondering, you know, is that something that you kind of think, well, thank goodness I've got that? It's a kind of crutch that opens up a conversation or breaks the ice when people say, well, I don't really know what to say at this point.
I think it does, you know. I think being Scottish is a great thing for travelling. As you can see, like where we are in the art gallery, you know, how much Scotland has travelled, you know, how Scottish people, you know, whether they had to travel in the clearances or whether they did it through choice, you know, they're definitely travelled all over the world, you know. And there is something about being Scottish, I think, that helps. And even in things like the guys who were doing security on this job are ex-army. And, you know, so just because they knew guys from the Black Watch and from all these regiments, they're always, you know, basically you get a smile as soon as they know you're Scottish because they're like, oh, God, I loved working with the Scots in the army, and that opens a kind of door to that, you know.
Have you ever been tempted to move abroad, to go and live in LA, for example, which you could quite easily do now?
Yeah, I think I am a bit of a homebody, you know. I love coming back to Scotland, you know, walking in that park and, you know, coming here with little Jack, and I kind of know it and I love it, and my friends are here. And now having a baby, just having family here is much easier than, you know, I know some friends who have moved to Scotland and have a baby and they don't have any family around, and it's much harder for them, you know. Whereas, you know, we have got family who help out with Jack quite a lot, and it's just a good feeling to have that. Although I'm not one of these people who brings down Los Angeles. I love Los Angeles. A lot of actors go over and say, oh God, I've got to spend some time in LA and I hate it. And I love it. It's a totally different lifestyle from here. Whenever I go, I always try and live kind of near the beach. Most people kind of live in Hollywood because that's where all the meetings are and all that. But I feel that that's kind of like living in a city, just a really hot city, you know. So you spend the whole time in air-conditioned cars, the air-conditioned house, and it's, you know, there's no difference really. Whereas living at the beach, if I go there for 2 months, if I have to go there for 2 months, then I've got a whole new life, you know. I'm kind of hanging around the beach, I get to have a surf, take Jack down to the beach and he loves it. And so I always see it as kind of a chance to do a kind of a different lifestyle, you know. I'm